Hello, I am Ninja Does. Did you hear that? Like I said, I am Ninja Does. I'm so glad you stopped by. Enjoy the video. What the hell was that? Today I would like to talk about why everybody should be playing video games. From the early inception, video games have had nothing but a positive influence on the entire world. Technologically, economically, and socially. If it wasn't for video games, I would not be playing video games today. I'm going to touch on some of the reasons why everybody should be playing video games. Let's start with your kids. Okay, you have had a hard day at work. The last thing you want to deal with is a bunch of whiny kids when you get home. Video games will give them that thing to do in order for you to pretend you never had them for a few hours. You know, a little me time. Just don't forget they still exist. They need to be fed eventually. Video games will also give them better grades in school. They can't wait to do their homework so they can play the latest online games afterwards. It also teaches kids very good social skills. There has been a study in which it shows kids tend to treat other people online in a very friendly and respectful manner.
I have your front! I have your front! I have your front! Let's go! Let's go! You suck! You too! You're dog shit!
One more pre-fire stand here. Yo, stand up.
Nice! Let's go! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Let's go! Let's go!
Watch the flag.
You can't beat me, Vince! You'll never beat me! Ever! Never beat me! Let's go, baby! Let's go! Get out! Let's go! Give me your name back!
See? That's them showing how happy they are, and they're making sure others know their joy. That's all. Video games also teaches them math. Where are they going to learn what a KD ratio is, what a critical hit number is, or what the credit limit on your credit card is? Finally, you'll never have to hear your kids complain about getting a sunburn because they will never have to go outside into the sun to interact with people face to face. Basically, video games will make your kids into a well-rounded individual with tons of skills they wouldn't have gotten otherwise. Speaking of adults, there's nothing else better for an adult to do than to play video games to relax and unwind. Just like kids, adults are able to show their appreciation for other gamers through social interaction online.
Coida! Ți-te morții, mătii, bă!
It gets me right here when I see such joy and happiness. Thankfully, now that adults are remotely working 3 days a week, that means more time that they can devote to playing video games. Hey, they get paid at the same time. I call that a win-win. Also, being married can be stressful at times. So I've been told. They say more than 50% of marriages end in divorce. How much do you want to bet that other marriages that stay together, video games played a big part in that? You get to come home from work, turn on the game that you're obsessed with, and pretend that you never got married for about 8 to 9 hours. Hey, you get to see that significant other in the morning before work and when you finally go to bed at night. Or what I like to call family time. Again, right here. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry, I got a little choked up. That was just an emotional thing thinking about this bond between these two people. Anyways, some people have even met in online gaming and got married in the online game. Of course, it isn't a real marriage, and it gets to go away whenever you turn the game off. That saves a lot of money not having to pay lawyers during the divorce if things have to go that route. So as you can see, there's nothing but positive effects video games have on society as a whole. Now, there's no better investment than investing in video games. The video game industry takes in more revenue year over year than the music industry, the movie industry, all professional sports, the United States government, Tesla, Apple, and Mr. Beast combined. So why wouldn't you want to get in on that action? Here are some examples of some companies you might want to invest in. What? All of those companies have been shut down? It's probably because they made a ton of money and decided to retire. Also, there's no other word I can think of to describe all the big video game publishers than the word integrity. This industry is in the forefront of treating their employees with kindness and respect. Some are even on the tops of some types of lists when it comes to this. They also take it very seriously, any type of toxic workplace environment. Finally, these companies care deeply for the people that spend their hard-earned money that they made during remote working on their products and services. One good example of this is the DLC that is already on the disc or is part of the current 95 gig update. Yeah, it sucks you have to wait a while to play your game, but it's not the publisher's fault you went cheap on your internet connection. Besides, no other industry puts their consumers' happiness and concerns over profit like video game industry does. Because hey, where would they be without us? Here are some examples of times when they had our best interests at heart. Sending out video games before they are finished. They know you can't wait to get your hands on the latest game. So, they go ahead and release the game ahead of schedule in order for you not to have that delayed gratification. Sure, there are going to be a few bugs, but it's like when you walk up to a crowd of people. You just walk around the crowd and keep going. It's the same in video games. Just play around the bugs. Besides, they have every intention of fixing the game if the game is profitable. Next, they gave us free-to-play games. Who doesn't like free stuff? These free games will give you a way to escape life and not have to pay a single penny. Sure, eventually down the road, they enable you to increase your enjoyment by offering you content that you can pay for. But that's entirely up to you. You don't have to, because the other players in the game know you aren't buying the pay-to-win content, and they'll just leave you alone. Now, this part of the industry has become very competitive. This competitiveness only brings out the best in people. It just warms my heart when I see a teammate remind another player that they need to get good. They are only doing this because they want the other player to enjoy the game as much as they are. Another way the big publishers are more concerned about their players than profit is them steering the industry that better suits us. Hey, what do we know? And I'm talking about loot boxes. There have been a ton of people who would have never gotten the experience of what it's like to gamble if it wasn't for loot boxes. It's okay that you had to open 50 loot boxes to get that one good item. It's that legendary item that came out 3 season passes ago that nobody uses anymore, but hey, it feels so good to finally have that one thing you used to want. Finally, it's very common knowledge that people will fight change. People like to find something that they enjoy and don't want anything to change. The publishers know this, so they keep the gamers in mind when they change very little on the next game in the series. That way, you can have the comfort of knowing that you still get the same level of enjoyment when you purchase the next game. Now, the publishers are always trying to find a way to keep their consumers happy. If they're playing video games, they're happy. If they aren't playing video games, life sucks and it makes them question their very own existence. So they went out of their way to make video games mobile. Again, right here. Mobile games vary by certain markets. The markets that they dominate have less crime, poverty, and government oppression. Also, this gives gamers that on-the-go and up-to-date knowledge on the new items that they must have. Now, I know I have talked about nothing but the positive aspects of gaming. I did a Google search of the negative effects video games have, and it took me a while, but I was able to come up with this guy named Lieberman, Luberman, I don't know. Something like that. He has some type of government job. According to him, video games have a negative sociological effect on society as a whole, but even more so on young kids. Because of this, they enacted the rating system. The video game industry loved the idea. They knew this was a win for the gamers because it enabled them to know when the publishers describe the game, there will be no false advertisements. For instance, I'm never going to be a serial killer, but I can rest assured that the over 18 rating on this game assures me that I'm going to get the full serial killer experience. Thank you, Mr. Luberman. If it wasn't for video games, we wouldn't have the boob streamers. The early years of Twitch brought us nothing but gaming content 24/7. That's great, but we need more variety. Yeah, gaming should be done as much as possible, but everybody needs a break now and again. In Twitch's case, you can simply hop on one of the 20 live bikini girls in their bathtub or blow up mini pool, in which all they care about are your donations. Yeah, they pretend they like what kind of dog you have or what your major in school is, but nothing gets them to show their appreciation more than a nice donation. When that happens, you and that girl establish this strong bond that lasts as long as the donation notification shows on the screen. You might even get her to write her name on her body if you give her what amounts to half of your paycheck. Whatever happens, it gives the gamer on break a feeling of self-worth, even if it's only for 5 seconds. Let's not forget about GameStop. Power to the suckers. Players. They have all gamers in mind by giving you the opportunity to trade in your used games for new and improved games. Who cares that you bought the game brand new last week? They'll gladly give you a fair price for your trade-in so you can walk out proud of your transaction. They have a huge, limited selection of games. Out of asking about a bunch of different types of games, they'll always have at least one of those games you're asking about in stock at a different location across town. But hey, it's in stock, according to the computer. Let's not forget that they always go out of their way to remind you not to forget to pre-order something. Anything. Just pre-order something. They don't care. All they care about is looking good to their boss. So you feel like a satisfied customer. And finally, they go ahead and add the optional warranty to your purchase without letting you know because, hey, you would have gotten it anyways. GameStop is great. I grew up as a gamer, and I'll probably go to my grave as a gamer. I would like to say that if it wasn't for gaming, I might have done something else like, I don't know, ballroom dancing or basket weaving. I will never know because I chose to live in a world that doesn't exist than to deal with the world that does exist in which I can't respawn. I would like to hear more about what you think about what I have said. I thank you for stopping by and take care.